Hi, this is Devorah from Empowerment of Healing, and I'm coming in with a part 2 to the personal redemption video. After I posted it, I had personal comments, and someone said, okay, so the whole idea of clearing out the unleavened bread, the chametz from our house, and clearing and then burning it, right? How does that connect with how I describe the Yetzer Hara? What does that have to do with the idea of the Yetzer Hara that I presented in the previous video? And so it's the evil spirit. So it's a very, very, very good question. And I think I started answering it in the previous video, but I am going to go into it in a little bit more depth now. We discussed that the concept that we call the evil spirit, the Yetzer Hara, isn't actually something evil. It's just the ability for us to hone our skills, to recognize our skills. Yes, to hone them, to strengthen them, to recognize what we have in us, and strengthen meaning bring it up to, oh, the winds are very strong, bring it up to shine, right? We're born with this treasure chest of who we are, our unique light, our unique strengths, our unique talents. And we go through certain situations in life, small ones, big ones, one-time ones and continuous ones that show us so much about who we are. And it's like this treasure chest is like sitting at the base of our being, and we go through something and here comes up a tool and we're like, oh wow, didn't know I had that. Here comes up strength of a certain sort, like, oh wow, this was inside of me. And so we discover all of who we are, right? And I started discussing this through the trials that we have. And it's not just trials. I also describe this quote unquote evil spirit, I've got to find a different name for it, as the choices that we have along the way, right? Because everything that God created is for the good, and man can choose to make it be for the bad. So we discussed the concept of like being on an escalator upward, so then getting to the top isn't, if you had an escalator to take you to the top of Kilimanjaro, it wouldn't be this wow thing. You might be wowed by the experience, by the view, but you wouldn't feel like you earned that incredible euphoria that people feel when they hike to the top of a mountain. So when we're hiking, when we're working hard towards a goal, then we feel like we've earned it. And the harder the path, the more we've had to discover and hone our unique skills and talents and bring them forth in order to reach the top of whatever challenge is in front of us, to get to the top of that mountain, the greater we're going to feel about ourselves, and the more we're going to discover about ourselves. How did we deal with the challenge? How did we respond when we were in crisis? What was it like for us when, this thing happened and we saw our innate light coming out to speak when it could have, when we're under pressure, when we're in situations that we've never experienced before, when we learn new things about ourselves. We learn so much. Anyway, so the point is that when we have these choices of, what to choose, how to, are we going to stay on the straight line? Or are we going to walk off the path? When we have these challenges, so we learn more about ourselves. Okay, so that's what I described as the greater, what other people call the evil spirit. Again, we need to find a different word for it. So the point is, and this is what the person was asking me about, why are we burning the equivalent of it, right? The unleavened bread is supposed to be the equivalent of this evil spirit. If it's forging such a beautiful thing for us, then why are we kicking it out of the house? Now, this is a very, 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 and then burning it. This is a very, very important healing concept that comes up all the time in healing sessions. That there's a difference between the experience that we went through that showed us who we are, and the tchunot, the character traits, and the treasure that we found in ourselves from the experience. We're meant to hold on to all we've learned about ourselves and all we now know about ourselves and that higher value we now have for ourselves or have discovered. But we are not supposed to hold on to the experiences and the people and the traumas and the memories. We're supposed to let go of that. And people have a fear that if they let go of the trauma, of the experience, of even the person, the abuser, whatever, that they're also going to let go of all the beauty that they discovered. And that's not true. What is inherently us, and again, this is why it's so important, and I keep repeating this, the abuser didn't make us who we are. We were born who we are, and the abuser helped us learn. I'm using the abuser as an example, any trauma, challenge, etc. It helped us learn about who we are. So who we are is innate. No one can take that away from us. It's not going anywhere. When you throw away the packaging, right? When you say this abuser no longer has a place in my life, you're not throwing away all the good that you gained. You're not throwing away any inherent part of you. What you're throwing away is the packaging, right? When you buy a new computer and you take the new computer out, right? And there's all this packaging around, you save all the packaging? No, you throw all that packaging away. If we save the packaging that everything came in, our houses would be cluttered. If we did the same in our body, if we hold on to all the experiences and the people and the traumas and the memories that brought us to this point, then we become cluttered and our bodies become filled with aches and tension and illness, and we're not meant to hold on to all of that. We're meant to let that go. That's the clearing out. That's the look at the bare bones, get down to the, to the floor, to the deepest corners of your closet. It's inner work that we're doing when we're cleaning the house for Pesach. When we're looking to make sure that there's not a crumb in the closet, we're making sure that there's nothing left in us that doesn't need to be here. And all that's left is the beautiful structure that God created us as, and none of the dirt and the accumulation and the packaging that has helped, all these experiences, etc., that have helped bring us to the point of discovering the beauty of our structure. So the point is to maintain the structure and take out all the packaging of all the beautiful stuff that's in that structure. Okay. So really, really good analogy for, every piece of furnishing and every dish and every book and everything that you have in your structure, all the beauty, all the things that make you as beautiful as you are. If you kept all the boxes and all the styrofoam and all the wrapping paper and all the bags and all the, peanuts that come inside, the styrofoam peanuts, your house would just be full of that, and you wouldn't be able to see all the furnishings, and you wouldn't be able to see all the books and the shiny mirrors and the beautiful windows, and because it would just be full of clutter. So clear all that out. Burn all of those difficult memories, difficult experiences. Let go of the people who did things to you that were difficult. Because if it wasn't them who did it to you, it would have been something else, another person, a different experience. The point that God had in mind wasn't for you to attach yourself to the suffering. It was for you to attach yourself and to resonate with what you discovered about yourself. So let go, burn, sweep it out, burn it, take it to the garbage, dump all of that. And there's a huge, huge, huge energy right now of that in the air, particularly surrounding the issue of shame. So many of us are carrying around shame from so many different things that we could control, couldn't control. Shame is just, it's an emotion that we take on ourselves, or that gets put on us when a certain situation has happened that we didn't feel that we could control how the situation unfolded. And what wound up happening is that we got embarrassed. We felt, and it's not just embarrassment. Shame is so much deeper than embarrassment. We felt like there was something that if only we could have changed that, then this situation wouldn't have happened. And it's a terrible burden to carry, a terrible burden to carry. So it's time to make peace with all of those situations that had us take, I see them as like blocks of iron that are just stored. You know, we carry them on our backs, we carry them in our stomachs. Some people hold their tension here, some people hold their tension in their bellies. Just take a moment. If you want, let the memories come up of what brought you to the feelings of shame. But the point is not to focus on that, and you don't need to. You can just say, God, I'm ready to release all shame from my being. And just be aware that that's what's going on in the world right now. Just be aware that this energy is swirling, and you can just take all of that shame and just put the iron. It's like a tornado, you know, that's just buzzing around people, and you could just place your iron into that tornado, or you can spread it out in your yard. It's great. Iron is good for the soil. The point is to just take that iron, that shame, and cast it away from you, and just let it be taken up by God. And so just tap into that energy, even just for one moment today. Just close your eyes right after you listen to this video, or pause it, and just say, I am ready to release all shame from my being, or I am releasing all shame from my being. And then say, all shame has been released from my being. My being, my energy is now, my body is now free of shame. Okay, just repeat those sentences. Really, really ground that in, that truth in, that you no longer carry shame with you. And just wait to see what happens. It just clears the way for so much love and acceptance and recognition that you really couldn't change the situation, and it wasn't in your power. And even if it was in your power, if it happened, that was the way it was meant to be. So just let it go. Just let it go. Just a warning. Shame, feelings of shame can often cover up or like be a layer on top of feelings of anger. It can be like, instead of allowing yourself to feel the anger towards what happened, or the person or God or whatever the situation was, you feel the shame. And as soon as the shame is gone, the anger might come up. So just be aware. And if it does, it's okay. Express it in healthy manners. Healthy manners, that means punching a pillow, screaming it out, writing it out, having an important conversation with someone. But the point is to allow your emotions to come up and process, and love and acceptance is at the end of that experience, of that road. So just don't be afraid to let go of the shame, let go of the shame, let go of the shame. I can't repeat it enough, because it's just this extremely freeing experience. I highly recommend, if you have Rescue Remedy, taking Rescue Remedy to help support you during just letting go of that shame, just really releasing it all. So, oh, and when you go to burn the chametz, you can also have that in mind. Okay, the last bits of shame are being burnt. Just you've let it go. All right, clearing blessings to all of you, and healing blessings. And this should be a wonderful rest of the week. Don't get stressed about the cleaning. And when you do, just focus on how that cleaning is really clearing you. And it just makes the whole experience so much more spiritual and energizing. It's not just working until my fingers are rubbed raw. This is inner work. This is clearing the insides, and it's just turns the clearing into a whole new experience. All right, sending love from Israel.